Good morning, everyone. In the presentation of today, let's go see to Brexit through the fish sector through situational analysis. The group is made up of Sergio Erazo, Sebastián Durán, Santiago Álvarez, and Karim Barrios, and we will analyze the current situation with a structure where we mention the research question along with the relevant variables, then a recount of the events in line with the time, a review of actors that highlight, and finally the conflict tree with causes, effects, and central theme. To begin, we have the research question. What has been the impact of Brexit on the fish sector? This raises an analysis of the situation of the United Kingdom departure from the European Union, from a review of the important aspects that have impacted the exclusively fish sector. All this is relevant because the United Kingdom exit from the strongest regional integration agreement at the European level generates change in political, commercial, economic, and other aspects. For this reason, our independent variable will be the economic development of the sector, which may be affected by the loss of profits in terms of relations and trade with other European countries. On the other hand, we will see the dependent variables that are trade taxes and economic policies that are relevant to the loss of some benefits that begin with the European Union brought to a country as an important as the United Kingdom.
Timeline. In June 23, 2016, in the UK, a consultative referendum was held in order to find out what position the voters had reorganized Brexit. The 51.9% of voters supported the exit compared to 14.8.1%. You did not support the exit to the UK from the EU. In the 2017, the European Commission confirmed that all trade agreements will remain in force in this way, including the continued participation of the UK in fisheries policy. The change in the treaties will be carried out as the official depart from the UK. On February 1, 1990, the departure of the UK from the EU became official and the withdrawal agreement entered into force, which regulate and the under the powers from this country. Thus, during 2020, the UK had the obligation until December 31, 2020 to maintain its treaties. On November 2020, fishing quotas became the last obstacle to a trade agreement between the EU and the UK that allows maintaining economic relations between both sides. The sense London what these companies to have permanent access to the European international market. And finally, we have the current year where on January 1, the UK abandoned the common fisheries policy. In this way, the country becomes an independent coastal state where the other EU countries will not have equal access to its waters. Thus, the UK established temporary quotas after the Brexit. In May 2021, French police retaliated against the UK doesn't complain with the fishing agreement signed after Brexit, since it had blocked the access of French fishermen to fish between 6 and 12 nautical miles of the British coast.
European Union fishing does not account for 0.1% of the Grand Britain and PIB, nor does it represent a sector association other for the European Union, and yet this has become one of the major points for continuation in the negotiations to achieve a right environment the post-Brexit. The key to its specific range is neither structured production nor extractive. It is in fact a romantic symbol of national sovereignty as defined by a senior diplomat in Brussels, and also a sector in which London has a in the least sleep. Fisheries sector. With the bulk between the negotiation teams of both sides on the English Channel among a saturation point, and with a possible agreement in sight in the coming days, what is at stake is hazard to British warriors. A copious fishing agro represents about 50% of total European fisheries and from which annual average and 1,285 million tons of the fish left between 2012 and 2016, according to an extensive study commissioned by the Fisheries Committee of the European Parliament in 2019 on the occasion of Brexit. The European Union, the lion's share, 57% compared to Great Britain is furnishing 43%. Great Britain, nearly 3 weeks after Brexit came into effect, the Great Britain is already since its trade Great Britain's bread as site of relief after the agreement reached between the country and the European Union, not to impose tariff duties on the flow of goods, but the date now take into account the introduction of border controls and red tape that in practice are causing at high chance or for business. What, for example, is the fishing industry which facing delays and implement to its pork.
Conflict 3. Effects. In 2016, a large part of the fishing sector openly support Brexit. They believe that once they were part of the European Union, their restrictions could fish whatever they wanted while still sailing on their dams. Multilateral agreements and declarations. Most of them are agreements mixed, some containing the so-called competence clauses, many have been signed and ratified by the European Union and its member states. 2. Bilateral reciprocity agreements. They will continue to updating the tax and quotas due to departure of the British fleet. In relation to them, the UK, given the nature of the fish stocks found in these areas and the obligations that imposed by international law, will have to negotiate fishing agreements with the third parties. Central problem. Brexit can have serious consequences for the fisheries sector, and the discussions of fisheries in the framework of Brexit will form part of the definition of the future. Causes. States with which the Union already has agreements and with the European Union itself. Relations between the European Union and the United Kingdom. The fishing sector represents a small percentage of the United Kingdom and European Union economy, but its symbolism has made it one of the key points of the negotiation. By abandoning the common fisheries policy, the UK becomes an independent coastal state.